Welcome back, guys. Today we're in front of our almost completed second studio, but it's close enough, so we're going to do it. Today's video won't be real long. What I want to do is, today is the anniversary of me being a photographer for 40 years. Started in 1993. I started working at a 1-hour photo lab in Stockbridge, Georgia, where I learned to process and print film from 4x6s all the way to 20x30s posters. I learned to do darkroom work, and I learned to take pictures. I learned from the inside out. I got to see how people messed up from printing, and then I learned how to shoot. I had some photographers that come along, kind of took me under their wing, taught me how to shoot. So I worked there for about 4 years, and then in 1987, we opened up our own 1-hour photo lab in Jonesboro, Georgia. We were there for 3 years. In 1990, I was the manager of Glamour Shots at South Lake Mall, and then in late 1991, early 1992, we started an in-home glamour company called Hollywood Creation. We ended up with 2 locations, one in Jonesboro, Georgia, and one in Gastonia, North Carolina. And we worked 5 different states. We had about 39 people. We would carry the wardrobe, the makeup, backgrounds, go to people's house. They would have a party, have at least 8 people. We would shoot the pictures, and back then it was film. So we had to come back a week later to sell the proofs. If we would have had digital back then, it would have been much easier to do, but you know, you did what you could back then. In 1997, we started Studio Atlanta, where we mostly did weddings and models, family portraits, senior portraits, a little bit of everything. And that's what we're currently doing today. We have managed in the last 40 years to shoot over 1,000 weddings, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. But I want to show you some of the cool things and tell you a few funny things that happened in the last 40 years. I got a call one day from one of the photographers that taught me how to shoot pictures. His name was Jose. He passed away in 2013. He called me and said, I got a shoot I want you to go do. I'm like, okay, what is it? He said, I want you to go shoot the president or the vice president of the United States. He was coming to Jonesboro, and it was George H. Bush, who was vice president for then President Ronald Reagan. So I go to Jonesboro, and I get there, and the Secret Service is there, and they're telling us, okay, do not get within, I think it was 6 feet of the president. Okay, I won't. Well, little did I know, me and the guy in the local station, Channel 2, WSB here in Atlanta, I don't know what he was doing with his camera. He was doing video, but I was doing film, and I had ran out of film, so I was taking out film and putting in another roll of film. About that time, the guy grabs me around the neck and throws me to the ground. I'm like, what the heck happened? They're like, you got within 6 feet of the president. I'm like, I didn't move. They're like, he walked toward you. I'm like, well, that's him getting within 6 feet of me. But the Secret Service don't much care. They just mean don't get 6 feet from the president, no matter what happens, apparently. But I'll never forget, me and the other dude from WSB was a big old dude that got thrown to the ground. I was pretty scrawny back then, but that was pretty crazy. But the picture I got of him, and I'm gonna post this picture so you can see it right now. And this is just a picture I shot of that picture. It was shot in 1987. Was him looking, I think that cow or whatever it was like $500,000, and that was in 1987. So I don't know what it would be worth today, but the expression on Vice President Bush's face kind of tells it all in that picture. And just a few funny stories, because if you do photography for very long, you're gonna have some crazy stories. In 40 years, you really get some crazy stories. So the ones I can tell you about, in 1998, me and a photographer friend of mine named James, 2 girls, Stephanie and Tanya, we went to Cancun to do a photo shoot, and one of the girls she was kind of iffy on flying. Not that I love flying, but she was really iffy on flying. Her name was Stephanie. And we didn't tell her, but we were watching the weather, and there was a little tiny storm like southwest of Cancun. And little did we know that late October it would turn into the Hurricane Mitch. We come back to our hotel, and the hotel is boarding up the windows, putting notes on everybody's bed saying, we're going to have to take you inland, because if you've ever been to Cancun, there's the ocean, some sand, a hotel, and a road, and then the ocean again. There's not even enough room for hotels on each side of the road in the hotel zone. That's where we were. So we thought, oh God, we do not want to get stuck in Cancun inland with some crazy hurricane. Now, this hurricane had 225-mile-an-hour winds. That was enough to be a Category 5 and yet make another Category 1. So we thought we were dying. We had called home, like, okay, we'll be dead. Good knowing y'all, great life. But at the last minute, we went to the airport, and we were the last plane out of Cancun that got out of there. And once we landed back in Atlanta, you know, the newspapers, I've still got the cover. I should have brought that to show you. Gigantic storm going in. Now, the storm did dodge Cancun, but it went to Honduras and I think killed 15,000 people. So we were very fortunate to get out of there. And we didn't get a lot of great pictures because right after we got there, the winds, like the ocean was crashing over the pool. Those big heavy doors that go to the balcony, you couldn't even get them open. If you could, couldn't get them closed because the wind was blowing so hard. It was just crazy. A lot of the models that we've shot, we've done Maxim magazine, Teen magazine. We've shot pictures for Estee Lauder. That was another job that a photographer friend of mine named Adolfo got me to go on. We went to Alabama to shoot for Estee Lauder for a couple of days. That was a pretty cool shoot. I've also done charity work for the Atlanta Hawks. And that was back when Dominique Wilkins was the Hawk. So that was pretty cool to do that. I've shot pictures for a lot of the girls to go into the Hooters calendars and Teen Magazine. We did some stuff. There was, I think it was Miss Noonan ended up going into Teen Magazine, so we did that. And we had some stories. Like when we were doing our glamour parties, our in-home glamour parties, we would go, and we always had like one, maybe two photographers, depending on how many people were coming to the party, and 2 or 3 makeup artists. And we would end up in some places that would be 2 hours away. I know one time my wife ended up doing, they had a casket on their front porch full of onions, and there was so little light in the house that they had to turn over trash cans to set lamps on so they could do makeup for the ladies that were there. But what's funny is the people like that would always spend cash more than anybody else. They would spend more. You could pull up to $1 million mansion and you would pull up to this house, and the people in the little house would just throw cash at you. And the wealthy people, I guess they were so in debt they couldn't do it. But that was always pretty cool, because we always liked it when we get to these. There were some places they would take. I remember one time me and my friend James, we did a lot of work together. We worked together for a long time. He's in Spain now. So if you're in Spain, go see my friend James. Tell him Daniel said hi. They've had us out in the front yard shooting guns. I mean, you name it, we've about done it from a glamour party. It's just some crazy times. Sometimes we would not get home till 3 or 4 in the morning. You just never knew what was going to happen. The good thing is we were young back then. I was like 24, 25 years old. So I'm not the 55 that I am actually today, which September 5th, yes, I am 55 today. We won't really dwell on the 55 part. We'll dwell on the 40 years of photography. To go with that 40 years of photography, you can add in 8 months of YouTube. So a little bit of an imbalance there, but we're trying to figure our way on YouTube. We're doing what we can. Another one of our model shoots, me and James again, we were shooting in Miami, South Beach. We were shooting Nikki, and I don't remember who the other girl was that was with us. We left South Beach, we went south of there and got on some island. And the next thing we know, the police are pulling up, asking us where our permits are. I mean, you would have thought we robbed a bank, but we got out. We didn't go to jail, so that was good. But we have also been thrown out of Stone Mountain for photographing without permission from Stone Mountain. They give you a number to call to get permission, but obviously the phone sits in the room with nobody around, because I've called it for years. Nobody's ever answered the phone. So Stone Mountain, I hate you, Stone Mountain. So we don't shoot there anymore. I was also shooting a girl, I believe again, it was Nikki, the same one that was in South Beach with us, in a little park in Stockbridge, and we were doing some pretty cool shots, and the police come up on us there too. Apparently they didn't like what she was wearing. I was shooting her in like a little creek. I don't really remember all the details, but I remember he was pretty adamant that we stop. But you know, what you gonna do? It's fun job. Sorry, take me to jail, I don't know. So that just tells you a little bit about what we've done over the last 40 years, and I hope that you like photography as much as I do. I started, as a job at 15, and it was a lot of work, and I didn't really like it at first. So I ended up quitting there for a while, but moved on to a couple other jobs, but it wasn't long. I went back because apparently I was pretty good at it. So the guy that owned the place, he offered me a raise to come back. So I went back, and that's when the other photographers I started getting to meet would kind of take me under their wing and take me to weddings and that kind of stuff. So don't just jump into shooting a wedding without a little bit of experience. I had a bunch of guys teaching me, and I probably went a year or two working with them before I started shooting our own weddings. But hey, that's a little bit of information about me, and I'll probably bored you guys, but 40 years as of today, it's pretty cool. Can't beat that, and I've enjoyed every minute of it for most of the parts. Some of those long 12-hour weddings will wear on you. I don't do the long weddings anymore. I'm too old to do the long ones. I'll shoot for 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll leave it in the hands of a young guy now, or a young lady, either one. So, by the way, if you're interested in photographing receptions, send me a text or email me down at the bottom, because we are looking to hire people. We've got a bridal show coming up in November in Atlanta where we're going to be meeting with 2,000 brides. So that will be interesting. But it has been a wonderful 40 years. And I have to say that I wish I wouldn't have waited this long to get on YouTube. It's really been fun. It's been an absolute crazy learning curve. Being a photographer helped with the lighting. Probably can't tell by this video because this kind of sucks at the moment. The way I've got it set up, it's not quite done. But we're getting there. But learning audio, learning editing, as you can tell watching this video, I'm still learning that. And there's a learning curve, there really is. But being a photographer helped set up the lights. Other than quick flash light, it's steady lights. So, this is lighting. But the audio and the editing has really been a job. But there are some great YouTubers out there. Marcus Pictures, I love your channel. You have a great channel, and you have the biggest heart. You give more stuff away than Santa Claus. I don't know, man. You are amazing for doing that. And if you guys also haven't seen another channel called Camera Conspiracies, y'all need to watch that. That is a hilarious channel. He is an absolute nut. So check out Camera Conspiracies and check out Marcus Pics. They have great YouTube channels. Don't quit watching mine. We're getting there. We're not as good as they are, but we're getting there. But check them out. They are just hilarious to watch. And we've got one of our cameras from Marcus. We got a Canon 70D from him. So he just gives away stuff all the time. So Marcus, we do appreciate that. But anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I hope you found a little bit of interest in this, what we've done over the last 40 years. It's been a heck of a ride. We have really enjoyed it. Being able to photograph over 1,000 weddings in 40 years is quite an accomplishment. So we're pretty proud of that. But anyway, hey, if you want to learn photography, or no matter where you're at, if you just started or if you've been shooting for a few years, you can contact me down at the bottom through my email, and I will help you with any problems that you have. If you're learning how to take pictures and they're not coming out right, you can send me a copy of it and I'll look at it and tell you what you probably need to change, help you out. No charge, it's all free. People helped me when I was young, so I'm trying to give back to the community like it was given to me. So hey, thanks for watching and for helping you guys out. Hit subscribe, and thank you for a wonderful 40 years. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.